Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Sunday, June 17th at 10:38 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. We have amazing footage of a flyby here at Mount Fuego, El Fuego, the fire, on June 13th. You can see this volcano is far from finished erupting. What it is doing is it is outgassing all the voids in the dormant magma system. They are now filling up with fresh lava, and this baby is going to blow again. There have been minor eruptions happening several times per day since the major eruption, and this is not looking good. Thankfully, those people are out of harm's way. You could see a picture of the lahar there that took the lives of all of those sheeple that were filming their death at the bridge. It's true, the footage that we showed you, those people did not make it. I checked up on it. Almost all of them are missing. Massive amounts of mud flowed immediately down the slopes here. They're basically showing you amazing footage of the lahar and where the directions they went down here off the flanks, destroying hundreds of acres of rainforest and hundreds of human lives taken from the power and fury of Mother Nature. We should get on with the update. There's a lot to talk about. We have amazing footage. The rain stalls the 416 fire burning near Durango. Heads up, it is totally quenched. We got a bit of a reprieve today. As of Sunday morning, the 416 fire was 25% contained, and it poured all day. So I imagine in the morning this will be 50% contained and just about out. We are drenched, and that's good news. The crops look great, but around the world they don't. Around 90% of the Porter peach crop was destroyed by the freeze. Heads up, Oklahoma, you will not have any peaches in the peach barn this year. That's an unfortunate state of affairs. We lost the peaches in Georgia. Now we lost the peaches in Oklahoma. Where will we lose the peaches next? Globally. Livesay orchards lost 90% of their crop this year due to the freeze the weekend of Easter. On the 7th of April, it got 25.5 degrees, said Kent Livesay, one of the owners of Livesay Orchards. The wind was blowing 20 miles an hour, which prevents us from doing any kind of frost prevention work. He said they're trying to save as many as they can for their customers to enjoy. But 10% on 100 acres is not a lot of peaches. And that's a boom. Today's first boom coming to you care of knowledge. Keep following the channel and you're bound to get some. This is coming from The Source, Fresh Plaza, the global information network on crop loss and crop distribution. 50% of Nova Scotia blueberry crop lost to frost. The Nova Scotia wild blueberry industry has been hit hard by recent adverse weather conditions that has nothing to do with Al Gore's cockamamie predictions, anthropogenic global warming, or any of the nonsense, the world is heating up and the oceans are rising, BS that you've been fed. It's because it was cold. The same reason they lost the peaches is the same reason they lost the blueberries. For the first time, 3 weeks, farmers from one end of the province to the other have been hit multiple times with frost. Al, that's not because the earth is warming. That's because you're wrong and you owe us money. You should give every human being on earth at least $1, and then we'll forgive you. Crop losses push farmers to the brink of despair. Yeah, they do. Because when you work for your entire livelihood and nothing happens, it's pretty devastating. This is coming from the Hindu. Take a look at these crops. Agriculture department to hold camps to work out compensation. Now, this is the nonsense that's going on with surplus and government subsidies. So basically, they're paying all these farmers off to lose crops. That is not helping you or I to buy supplies in the supermarket. So you need to start preparing now if you think you're going to survive and thrive in the future. Times are changing, kids. If you want to survive and thrive, start prepping now. I don't need to stress that much. If you need to survive and thrive, start prepping now. If you want to survive and thrive, if this is what you want to survive and thrive, start prepping now. Hundreds of small-scale farmers who ventured into the farming after obtaining bank loans have faced a setback with the perishing of crops in the monsoon downpour in the last couple of weeks. Though preliminary estimates prepared by the Revenue Department confirmed crop loss around 450 hectares, farmer organizations claimed it was just 1/3 of the total loss. This is how it's going to go down in the future. When you're starting to claim your crop loss, they're going to be like, nah, it really wasn't that bad. You get a little bit. Now go away. Next. This is the way of the future. And we're about to be showing you some amazing footage of a Kilauea rim flyby. So stay tuned for this. And that's probably why we are totally bogged down. So I'm just taking care of that situation, and let's move back to the footage. East Coast shivers through cold snap, but the worst is yet to come, with forecasters predicting temperatures to drop below freezing on Sunday. Heads up. The East Coast of Australia shivered through a cold snap, but the worst is yet to come, as forecasters predict temperatures to drop below freezing on Sunday. Sydney-siders suffered a chilly 9°C on Saturday, with figures in Bankstown, the city's west, dropping to -3°C. Weather forecasters said Sunday would be more unbearable, and according to the bomb, there would be no snow, and it would be the balmiest winter on record. But the bomb is not the bomb. They're the boom. And they're trying to perpetuate this anthropogenic global warming nonsense to no avail. It's going to be windy. It's going to feel very cold because of that wind chill factor. We have a deep low pressure system in the south of Tasmania, and the air is pushing up from Antarctica, and that's cold. Regardless of what they tell you that it's melting down there, they're full of it. It is -50 degrees in Antarctica, and winter has officially started with heavy snowfall, turning parts of the country into a white wonderland in Australia. Totally antithetical to the bomb's predictions. Winter wonderland snowfall at Barrington Tops. Look how happy that kid is as we descend into the grand solar minimum. They're going to know how to survive and thrive in the future because they're prepping now. Yes, they are. Because their parents watch his channel. A wintry produced the perfect conditions for snow at Barrington Tops. A wintry? What is that? That's a noun? A wintry? Someone please use spell check. Keen snow chasers headed up to the tops overnight, with snow reportedly falling on Saturday, Sunday, and another dusting in the early hours of Monday, which hasn't even happened where I am. Snow has been falling in areas above 1,100 meters, with those on the ground reporting several centimeters in some locations. The kids are just bonkers. Look at her. I hope she's not trans and she's a he, or he's a she. You know what I'm saying. Take a look coming in from one of our subscribers. Probably never loading. Snowfall hits Sheba Dam as mercury drops to 0. This is in Australia too. I thought it was going to be no snow. We're barely in winter, and it's snowing everywhere at record levels. Yes, the shores of Sheba Dam near Nuttall were coated with white snow for most of Sunday as the mercury dropped across the region. A number of brave punters weathered the cold conditions to go check out the snow. The temperature is expected to drop below freezing in and around Tamworth tonight. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, that means it's going to be cold. Holy shite. At least 3 dead, several injured as a strong M61 earthquake rocks Osaka. He is serious. Cars were shaking. Oh, let's go back. Mother Nature truly has delivered. Falls Creek, 24 inches. That's Australia. Al, you said it wasn't going to snow anymore. We're not even in the heart of winter, and they're buried with record snow in Australia. Come check Snow Search. We'll leave you links. The snow is everywhere. And that's a boom. Yes, a boom to information, knowledge, and snow all around the globe at record proportions. 3 dead, several injured as a strong M61 earthquake rocks Osaka. One of the most powerful earthquakes in decades struck Osaka Monday morning. Did you hear that? One of the most powerful earthquakes in decades, as predicted, struck Osaka region Monday morning, leaving 3 people dead, a number of others injured, and cars shaking in their platforms. Go to YouTube and say Osaka earthquake and look at the footage. It's crazy. You'll get links to all this down below the video where it says show more, click it. That's the description box that none of you know what to find. I'm saying 25% of our viewers don't know where that is. If you actually ask someone, don't feel stupid. Just ask them, where's the description box? And they show you. What will be revealed to you is a whole bunch of information that you've been missing out on. Whew. Quakes of note, we've got a big tremor out here. Popping off 5.6 in Guatemala. Still no quakes above 6.0. We're in a mega drought for major activity. And this is as we approach the major flexure in the solar cycle, where all 8 and 9 magnitude earthquakes have occurred in the last 30 years. So what we're quickly approaching after we've just seen this earthquake in Japan that is the strongest in decades is an uptick in the strongest earthquakes in decades in populated areas. This is going to be increasing over the next year until we have a catastrophic loss of life that we will be reporting on shortly. Now, the explosions at Kilauea continue. We've had another 5.3 explosion today. Shortly prior to that explosion, let's come down here and locate it. We have a 5.6 here popping off in Guatemala, we just showed you. A 4.7 quake of note in Peru. And this is all associated with magma coming up on that rig on fire that's going to be lighting up volcanoes worldwide. And here we see the USGS downgrading that 6.1 to 5.3. Guys, that is 7,000 times magnitude less. That's what they downgraded it. 7,000 times less magnitude, according to the USGS. I saw the video. People are dead. Buildings collapsed. Cars were rocking. 5.3, give me a break. 5.3 is happening every day at the Caldera, Kilauea. Here's a real 5.3. No one was injured. No one even felt it. There's a big difference between that Japan 5.3 and this 5.3 being reported by the USGS. They are full of yes, I said it. Total charlatans. What they're doing is they're coddling the masses. They don't want you to panic. But I'm about to show you some footage that should get you off that island in Kilauea in just a moment. Stay with us. Worldwide volcano news update. We have Ibu to the mix. Ibico erupting again today. This is in the Kamchatka Peninsula. There has been an uptick. Ibico has been going stronger and longer and quicker and more powerful more often. So let's look for a big explosion from the Kamchatka Peninsula within the next few months. Ibu, continuous eruption today. Popo, Tukono, Kilauea, Yasur, Sakurajima. Huh, who would have thought? Sakurajima still sporadic puffs, more explosions. And Fernandina, we talked about that lava and gas eruptions. Whew. This is not being shown to you by the mainstream media. They do not want to scare that out of you. But I'm about to do the same, do exactly what they can't do. Now, what we're looking at is the most recent USGS flyby by a drone. Now, I can share you this because I won't be demonetized because thankfully the USGS has allowed scientists to share this information for public use. Now, I want you to take note of the fissures and the cracks here on the edge of the caldera, which has increased from just 12 acres to hundreds of acres. We're talking square miles of a caldera that is continuing to step down at kilometers at a time. Look at this fissure out here. That means it's growing. It is not stopping. But take note of the original caldera drop down here. And we're going to be seeing some interesting footage over the next few minutes that is going to scare the crap out of you. Now, as we come over the caldera, take note of this shelf. We're going to see it again live in a moment. And it has dropped down about 10 meters on this side here. And we're going to come and take a look at where this shelf is. In fact, the shelf doesn't exist anymore. And I showed it to you last night, fall into the caldera. This entire shelf is what we witnessed last night drop into the caldera. Now look at these cracks forming here. And look far off in the distance, a quarter mile away here at this crack. Here, this is the original maximum extent of the Kilauea caldera edge. And at one point it completely filled with lava and hardened. And now we're breaking that apart and it's dropping back down. And what we're about to witness is the hole 3 days ago, which is now larger. Because yesterday I showed you landslide footage of huge sections falling in. Take a look at this. This is a 50-acre hole that drops thousands of feet into the bowels of the earth. This platform here is probably 800 to 1,000 feet below, and look at the cracks in it. That's about to drop into this depth. This caldera is becoming a massive black hole on our planet. That's about to go. Oh no, it went yesterday. We videoed it. So what you can see here is an amazing evolution of an extremely deep and ever-growing super caldera, the size of which hasn't been seen for hundreds of years. Here's the scarp that we're about to reassume, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. We're going to come live to the caldera. This is where the last shelf we showed last night fell off that Flyby was showing. And here's another shelf about to drop off. Steam has been increasing over the last 5 hours because now we have cubic kilometers plugging this gigantic hole. These 5.3 eruptions will not stop, and they are in fact increasing. And they're increasing because right before the 5.3 today, there was a 3.7 and a 3.9, which has never been seen prior to the 5.3 until today. So what I'm suggesting is there is an uptick at the main caldera. The main caldera is growing at an extremely rapid rate. And if we just come over here to the latest earthquakes again, I'm going to show you a comparison side by side of what I'm talking about. So we're going to come up here on Kilauea. We're just going to bring it in. And I'm going to show you what I believe is about to happen before your very eyes in the coming weeks. Some scientists are predicting a new caldera forming here in the East Rift Zone, but I'm not. This caldera is far from done being used. And if you've watched that cockamamie video about some grid structure here, it's because that idiot is using a cheap app that only has data points on that grid. There is no grid pattern. This is not a man-made eruption. This is naturally occurring as predicted due to cosmogenic forces on our planet in the form of cosmic rays and the descent into the grand solar minimum. Now, if we come up on the caldera here, I want you to take note of the Kilauea caldera. But what I was pointing out is this large rim structure. This is the original size of this caldera during its major eruptive event. And this volcano is going to return to this major caldera size. What you're seeing out here from USGS is not the caldera. This is the lava pool from the beginning. They're not showing you any updated pictures here. And in fact, what is going to happen is you're going to have a 5 to 10 square mile caldera at the end of this event. The visitor center and road all in the hole. Any other structures they had built around here will all be in the hole. And in a few years' time, they might be able to make a new visitor center around this main caldera. But this main caldera will probably be erupting for the next 50 to 150 years. And anyone that has hopes of moving back here may be able to do it by boat. But it's going to be a very, 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 very long time before anyone can return to any of these southern areas. This is where the pot plants are probably, that we reported on last night, right up in this green zone, because these flows are actually leaving sections available. So you have to boat up here to the beach, walk miles up to your property. Just like the olden days. New helicopter video confirms Hawaii is basically Mordor now. You guys like Led Zeppelin? Well, you know what I'm talking about. And Gollum and the Evil One, they took her away. I don't know why anyone wrote this particular article, but I'll leave you a link to it. Here we are live at the Kilauea caldera, steam increasing. The sun is about to set, and we're not fully live there. So let's go pull it up and see what we can see here. The sun is setting. This is Fissure 8 up in the top. here. Now, the lava flow from this fissure is approaching, I don't know, 70 miles an hour. It is insane. And the amount of volume of lava is creating land at a rate of 1 to 3 kilometers per day. So the main island is growing, and there'll be more real estate for idiots to buy in the near future at $50 an acre. Good news, 99.98% of the Antarctic ice sheet didn't melt. That's less than a lint you can find in your butt cheeks, guys. Don't believe the hype. It's a fear monger. Let's talk about the facts. Year without a summer, 1816. This is after the major eruption occurred at Tambora, and what we're going to be waiting for anytime now. So as soon as that occurs, read this article. That is what will happen. The entire summer was 3 to 5 degrees below normal. On June 6th and 7th of 1816, a significant snowstorm hit northern New York and New England, with several localities recording 6 inches of snow. It was believed that on June 7th, snow flurries occurred in Boston. Now, this is not far off from the weather we've been having now, and it's just one volcanic eruption away. And this is going to lead to global unrest and famine, the likes of which we haven't seen. The year without a summer is a primer for the future, because history repeats itself and climate is a cycle. You should bone up on it because you're going to live it. Now, this is happening. We have toxic plants spreading on the East Coast and moving south. Richmond, Virginia, giant hogweed, an invasive plant that causes third-degree burns. Permanent blindness has been found in Virginia. It is also found in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, Oregon, Washington, Michigan, Virginia, Vermont. It's found everywhere, so I don't know why they are writing this article. But I'm pointing it out to you guys because it looks like cow parsnip. It resembles osha and other types of large tuberous plants in the carrot family. This one is particularly purple at the joints. Has a lanceolate serrated leaf here that's fern-like, and is very tall, can grow 3 to 10 feet. This large white flowering head can be up to 2 feet wide. So it is in the carrot family. It's the same as osha. It's the same as cow parsnip. It's a different species, and this one is deadly, toxic, burns the skin, and you should not touch it. Not only can the sap cause painful blisters, but if it gets in contact with your eyes, there's a potential for blindness. This is a very dangerous plant. And here's a guy that knows about it who's saying, I am sitting next to the Grim Reaper. There's some disgusting footage of blisters and things for people who touched it. So get to know that deadly variant of the carrot family, because you do not want to touch it. You certainly don't want to eat it. That's a bye-bye. All space weather is calm, according to spaceweathernews.com. But we just had the northern coronal hole couple with us. Here we see the shift in the phi angle. Just about 24 hours ago, the BZ went wacky. And just moments ago, before we made the video, we went into geomagnetic storm at KP5, which is lighting up the aurora in the northern hemisphere. Get out. As soon as I publish this, if you're in New York and you don't go outside, you're an idiot. But we're talking all of Ontario. Get out there, northern Ontario. This might hit Minnesota in the coming hours. Check out the southern hemisphere. It will be lighting up, and hopefully in 24 hours. But most of Antarctica is aglow. So if you're in northern Canada right now, you're probably getting good aurora. We're talking Atlantic Maritimes. Get outside as soon as I publish this video. Times are changing. It's solar minimum. We're at KP5, and the plasma speed is barely above 400 kilometers per second. This is unprecedented. And it's only going to get worse every year you're alive. Tiny events are going to make this red spike go higher and higher until it hits 9. And then you have 48 hours to buy all the remaining supplies in your local Walmart. That's it. This is when the wars will begin. If you want to survive and thrive, start preparing now. You want to know why? because our sun is kicking off geomagnetic storms with barely a fart in the wind. Those are the facts. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. If you don't understand where we're coming from and you're not picking up what we're putting down, you're blind and you probably touched that plant. Be safe.